What's cooking, everybody? We are here. We're about 1 minute late.
Whoops, not according to my computer. So,
Okay. Oh, yeah.
yeah, we're 1 minute early, actually. Wait, who's right? Apple products are disagreeing?
Oh, no. My watch is off on purpose so that I'm on time.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, this will be the first time ever we're early.
Sweet. Well, what's going on, guys? I think we're actually live now. Start talking to us so we can talk back. Everybody. Oh, turn it on
Alberto, always on time. What a punctual man.
there. Alberto, you're the most punctual fan that we have, without a doubt. What's cooking? All right. Well, we're here. It's Friday. What is today?
It
The
is
17th.
Friday.
Friday the 17th. Cameras and coffee. We're glad you're here.
Yeah. And why are we here, Dave?
Well, we're in a new set. Sort
Yeah.
of. It's the same set, but we readjusted some things. We kind of have a lot more room back here now. I don't know if you can tell.
Yeah. So, do you guys like how this is set up? This is kind of a new thing we're toying with, but
Yeah, let us know in the comments.
yeah. What's up, Rick? Hey, Marcus.
Hey, Marcus, what's up? Yeah, we're in Nashville. We actually have an office in Hermitage area, which is about 25 minutes south. Well,
No, it's not. East.
East, my bad. Southeast-ish. It's mostly east.
Oh,
So yeah, we're all right, guys. Wow, we already got 18 people here. Thank you
Heck
so
yeah.
much.
Well,
Well, let's just jump right into it.
first, just so you guys know, is it at Kinotika? If they're gonna leave
Yeah.
a question, yeah, make sure to just type at Kinotika after or before your question. That way we know it's a question,
Yep.
and we'll try to answer everything we can today. How's that sound? Sound good?
Cool. VFX Todd already on it.
Hey.
I love it. Cool. So we titled this one here "Camera Rumors" because I don't know if you have noticed, but there are a lot of rumors.
Yeah, actually, there's been a couple comments I noticed in the past few videos because we've always referenced like 2 months. I don't know, is the A7 III going to be good? We'll see in 2 months, and people are like, "What's happening?"
Yeah, we're actually shooting on the A7 III again today. It's been a champ for live streams. We're
Yeah,
really loving
and
it.
not only that, we're shooting on your old 64 Leica lens.
Yeah,
So,
this is my Leica 1964 Leica M3. My great uncle, the brother of my grandmother, who is watching right now at home. Hi, Mama and Mom and Laura
Heyo.
and Ryan. My family's watching. So
my
there's
family's probably not, let's be honest.
there's your shout out. Laura asked me to give him a shout out. That's my wife. But yeah, this Leica was given to me by my great uncle. It's in like perfect condition.
Yeah, it's so cool.
And it's such a beautiful little luxury to have. But it has a 50 millimeter Summicron lens, and I've never been able to use it on my Canon cameras because the DSLR element is too like big,
Yeah.
so I can't mount it. On the Sony, it mounts perfect. So right now we're shooting on a Leica lens from the 1960s, which is so cool.
It looks so nice.
It's so dreamy. But yeah, let's just jump into some of the rumors here.
Did we get any questions on the community poster?
We didn't get any questions except for one. We got a question about the G7X Mark III. So I guess we could start with
Yeah,
that.
hey, look, hey, fancy tools. Let's see if it works.
Yeah, let's see if it works. So we should be able to still hear us, and then there should be like
A
still
picture.
image, hopefully. But yeah, there's a picture of the G7X. If you're not aware of the G7X, it's kind of like the, RX100 series type of camera from Canon. Point and shoot. It's got a 1-inch sensor. The rumors are that the G7X Mark III is going to have 4K finally with dual pixel autofocus. So
Wow.
yeah, it's working.
Hey.
There's a slight delay on our Wi-Fi here.
No, it's
But
okay.
yeah, keep the questions coming, by the way.
I'll go
You
ahead and
can
get rid of
kill
that.
it.
Yeah.
They know what it looks like. But that was our first time testing like an image with the feed, so hopefully that'll be good. but
Yeah.
but yeah, the G7X3, we don't really have any information on it. Maybe at Photokina we'll see
Yeah,
it.
Canon's really tight-lipped, as we were talking just
Yeah.
a second ago, or like scrounging around for any good little tidbits of information. And
Yeah.
Not a lot. Not a lot.
By the way, we will also announce something at the end of this stream when we're done with the rumors
Yeah.
and some of the questions. We have some really big news.
Kind of big news.
It's actually has nothing to do with the title, has nothing to do with the description.
Has everything to do with us.
Has everything to do with us and with the future of this channel. So we definitely want you guys to stick around till the end because we are going to be revealing some exciting news.
Yeah.
So thank you, all 20 of you guys who are here right now, because you now know. We'll maybe mention it as the stream progresses, but
Yeah, we'll see.
yeah, the G7X3 is probably gonna have like a 5-minute cutoff record time.
I really
for the
hope
4K,
it doesn't.
Just like the RX 100.
You think that they might try, and probably not because it's Canon, but do you think they might try to like undermine the Sony RX 100 by like providing maybe even a 10-minute record limit?
By the way, our stream says low. Are we okay, guys? Everything going good? Do you see that?
I do see that. It says viewers will experience buffering.
Okay. It's because we changed that setting, probably.
Yeah. I think
Everybody, okay, it's still, sorry guys, we're still working out the kinks here.
As always.
The stream is live, but they're saying that it might be a little buffering, but yeah, I don't know. Canon always kind of undermines stuff, so I mean, it'll probably be a little limited. But
Yeah.
G7X3, all the vloggers in the world are hoping that it shoots 4K, has dual pixel. If it does, then that alone is a great upgrade. It's
Yeah.
not going to have a mic input. It's probably going to have a quick cutoff time on the 4K just because the processor is going to overheat.
people are saying everything looks Gucci.
Okay, good guys.
So.
Good. But yeah, other than the G7X3, we didn't have any community posts or tweets or anything like that. The biggest news right now is from Nikon.
Yeah.
And out of all the companies, Nikon is the only company that's actually like putting stuff out.
I said earlier, I feel like they're treating it like a movie. They're like putting out little teasers,
Yeah.
like cinematic teasers too. They're actually pretty neat. Kind of getting everyone hyped up, which I think is a good marketing move.
So with that being said, we actually downloaded some of the videos that Nikon posted. A lot of them have like Japanese guys talking underneath them, but let's play one of them here. Do you know which one this is here that you're about to play for us?
This one should just kind of be like looking towards the future. It's just like they like
Is
briefly.
this the one where it flies into the sensor?
No. This is kind of gonna. It's just really briefly at the end. They're gonna show the silhouette of the new camera. It's either gonna be the Z6 or the Z7.
Let's skip that one. Let's just go to the pictures of it,
Okay, cool. Yeah.
because that's all we want to see from that video. So here's an image of the Nikon camera. They're calling it the.
Which one is this one supposed to be?
We don't know which one it is, but it's called the Z series.
Yeah.
So the Nikon Z series of cameras, I am really excited about this from Nikon because Nikon is really kind of known as being a great company. I mean, I just have never really had a reason to use their cameras.
Yeah. Well, it's just because they weren't really in the video game.
Exactly.
Which we are.
If you're a photographer and you want just great images, both were so good. But when it came to video, Canon really outperformed that. And now Sony has kind of taken over the mirrorless game. And so we're real excited, obviously, that Nikon's getting into the mirrorless world.
Yeah, it'll stir it up. And, more competition's always a good thing. So I'm excited to see kind of how that affects the market.
So we have the Nikon Z6 and the Nikon Z7.
We have a few more pictures. I'll throw up another one.
Yeah. So there's the back of it. We don't know which one this is. We're pulling this from Nikon Rumors.
Yeah.
Apparently the Nikon Z6 is a high-speed camera that's capable of like low light. So they're trying to like push towards maybe like an A7S kind of a thing. 24 megapixel sensor. And then the Z7 is apparently a high resolution model at like 45 megapixels.
That's going to be nutty.
So that's kind of like the A7R from Sony, for example. So I'm just going to read off some of the things here. Nikon mirrorless lenses could be called Z Nikkor. And here's a really cool one. Nikon's going to release a prime with this whole new system, a 58mm f/0.95 aperture lens. This will be the fourth Z-mount lens, and it'll be announced after August 23rd. We have no exact date yet. By the way, Nikon is going to officially announce everything in 1 week.
Wow.
Next Thursday, basically, the 23rd.
Seriously.
Yeah. So we'll actually have a lot more information, obviously, because we'll have the information.
We might have to do like a follow-up.
Couch talk or something.
Or couch talk, yeah, something. I don't know. We haven't done a couch talk in so long.
I know.
It was kind of like, oh, that's a good idea. And then we never did another one.
What's really exciting for me about this new Nikon system is the fact that they're working on a whole new series of lenses. That was one of the big rumors that everybody was talking about. Are they going to stick with the original like set of lenses, or are they going to make all new mirrorless lenses? We have a DSLR right here. This is the 1DC, and I actually just sold it today.
Oh, man.
On eBay for $3,600.
That's more than the last time you sold it.
So I actually paid $39 for it 2 years ago. So I only lost $200.
And you gained so much more with that.
So I feel good about selling this. I know a lot of our fans here are going to be angry at me because I'm such a fanboy of this.
Yeah.
I might make a video like tonight before I ship it out, like saying goodbye to an old friend or something.
You really should.
But yeah, this is a DSLR and it's huge. I mean, the lenses, the EF lenses here, you know, they're in front of the sensor, and you've got this much gap between the sensor and the lens mount because this mirror flips up and down. When you go with a mirrorless system, obviously, like here's the M50, you don't have all that room. So you got to have these tiny little lenses to go on this tiny little mount.
Right.
So everybody was wondering, with the Nikon series, are they going to make all new lenses, or are they going to like just use basically a mirrorless camera with a giant gap in between the sensor and the mount where the mirror normally is, just take out the mirror? But it looks like they're not doing that. They're making it small. They're making a whole new series of lenses. There's going to be a 24-70 f4. There's going to be a 50 millimeter, a wide angle 24. So I'm real excited from Nikon hearing that like they're actually going all in on this.
Which is kind of funny to say, just because it's
play one of the videos
video.
while we chat about it.
Okay, yeah, sure. Well, let's see. This is I don't know. They're all numbered with like 7, 8, 9. I don't know which one's which.
Do 8.
Do 8.
Let's do 8. Okay. So yeah, this is one of the teasers from Nikon. We'll know within a second. So this one actually shows.
This is talking about the mount.
All of the old Nikon cameras in the past. Man, our frame rate's going way down. It's just because I think that's because it is. And then right here at the very end is mirrorless camera. We don't know what it is.
Yeah,
it's sort of there, and it kind of looks like a Panasonic camera. It looks like the Panasonic G9. Remember that one?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
It looks like that. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Quick second there. My favorite video that we have is the one with the lens on it. I think that's the last one, isn't it? The number 9.
9. Yeah. Let's
play that.
Let's give 9 a go.
So this video was released today, like literally just today.
I was like within the last 24 hours.
Okay. Yeah. But here it is. This is the Nikon Z 58mm 0.95.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, 1.2.
1.2.
Obviously.
次の100年に向けて
So yeah, I mean,
高額を追求していくニコンの新たなシンボルです。
I mean,
pretty exciting. I mean, a 55. It's not a 50. It's a 55.
58.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I wasn't looking at it. So yeah, that's exciting news. I mean, Nikon is not only doing 2 cameras, but they're doing a whole set of lenses as well with the cameras. The one thing that I think Nikon needs to nail if they want to take over the market is with the autofocus for video. Now,
that's going to be interesting to see how they tackle this.
Obviously, we're a little biased because we shoot a lot of video, so we want good video. But that's always been Nikon's kind of downfall, is like they have good video on their cameras, but they don't have any autofocus. There's a lot of pro features that aren't there. Canon, of course, doesn't have a lot of pro features, but they do have great autofocus.
Right.
So a lot of people choose that, even though like the 1DX, for example, doesn't have a log image, like it cuts out after 30 minutes. The 4K is sort of unusable unless you convert it, but the image is great, and you get the autofocus. So I'm excited to see what Nikon does. They've been using Sony sensors now for a while, so they might be using the same sensors from Sony, but I don't know. We'll see.
We'll know in about a week, I suppose.
I'm going to go into the comments. We've been just rambling here about the Nikon camera. Let's look at...
I don't think many people... No, some people are using the Kinotika.
Yeah.
Might want to reiterate that.
Yeah, so if anybody has a direct question that they want to ask us, just put at Kinotika in the comments, and then that way we'll know that you're like asking us a question. Alberto saying he's excited about the G7 review, which of course we will be doing eventually. Daniel Schiffer is mentioning the A6700. By the way, Daniel, I love your channel. He's like big time YouTuber, so thank you for hanging out, Daniel. The one rumor I heard so far is the A6700 will have 4K 60 cropped, supposedly confirmed, whatever that means. Yeah, so the A6700, I was going to get into, might as well go into Sony.
Might as well.
While we've transitioned there. Thanks, Daniel, for transitioning us into Sony. The first camera that's rumored is the A6700, which apparently is going to have a flip-up screen finally, so it'll be kind of like an A6300.
I'm still not a fan of the flip-up.
Yeah,
I mean, it's better than nothing.
I would rather have that than nothing, of course.
Right.
The only problem with the flip-up is where do you put your mic, right?
Right,
so
exactly.
You got to have like a bracket on the side of your camera. You got to have either a bracket on the bottom or mount it upside down and then put the mic on the bottom or something.
It gets real goofy as soon as you do that. I mean, what's the harm in making it flip out? I don't understand why that's such a weird concept for companies, but...
I heard a rumor actually that maybe Canon has a patent on it and then Panasonic just pays them a licensing fee.
That's interesting.
So, which could be a big reason why we don't see it on a lot of cameras. But the 6700, I would imagine, will have IBIS. It'll have 4K. It'll maybe do 60 frames per second. Daniel Schiffer mentioned a 60 frame per second 4K mode with a crop. But the biggest thing with the 6700, of course, would be the flip up screen.
Right.
And if that's the case, then that becomes the vlogging camera if you want to shoot on a Sony.
Right.
Because you'd have a mic input, you'd have flip up screen, 4K, IBIS, 60 frames per second, So maybe they would add the new battery too. I don't know. I hope
They'd be
they
smart
would.
too.
That new battery would power an A6700 forever, like 3 hours.
God.
So
powers that one for nearly 3 hours as it is.
Furworks, did they talk about the new rumored G95 from Panasonic yet? Competing with the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. I haven't seen that. If Furworks, if you could send us a link, I haven't seen anything about that.
Yeah.
The Laowa 24mm macro probe. I have actually seen some YouTubers use that lens. That have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen this.
It's a lens that's like this long, and it's like a macro lens, and it looks like a spear.
Really?
I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's pretty funny. Okay, yeah, we have some more people talking about the... guys, looks like we cut out for a second there. We don't have the best internet. We are using Ethernet, though, so we should be going good here.
Well, we raised our bit rate, so...
Yeah, that might be it. We might have to lower our bit rate. Sorry, guys. All right, so we're going to get into the most exciting Sony news, which is, of course, the A7S III. So, is everything okay?
I'm going to just... I can't. Now that we've started, I can't.
All right, we're going to kill it for 1 second and lower our bit rate.
Now we're back.
Okay, we're back. Sorry, guys. Thank you for hanging out. All right, we're talking about the A7S III now. So, of course, everybody's expecting this to happen because we've got the A7R III, we've got the A7 III. What's missing? Of course, the A7S III. So, of course, the video people are super excited about this. Mm-hmm. I, for one, am extremely excited. I have the A7 III here, and we're using that. That is almost like a Band-Aid to get us to the point to where the A7S comes out. So
it's a nice Band-Aid.
If the A7S comes out and it's phenomenal for video, which I'm sure it will be, then the A7 III will probably be replaced with an S. But we need a 7 III to compare it to, so...
Yeah, it works out for us, I guess.
Here's the thing with the A7S III, though. If you only need what the A7 III can do, and that's all you really need, then get the A7 III because it's going to be cheaper. Like, the A7S III will most definitely be more expensive. It will probably be $3,000 or more.
Go ahead and explain what's going to be the main key differences between...
Yeah,
the S and the 3.
The S, I would imagine, is going to just stick with like the same the way it's always been, which is low megapixels. So like a 12 megapixel sensor. That is extremely low. Like, it's really weird to spend a lot of money, $3,500 on a 12 megapixel sensor if you're a photographer.
Right.
Excuse me. But for video, you get a ton of benefit of that. Obviously, the low light is phenomenal, and that's because the megapixels are lower. Basically, the photodiodes on the sensor are super large, so they absorb a ton of light. That's how it works. Science!
Essentially, it's more efficient, right?
Yeah, it'll be a better... Yeah, it's more efficient for low light. For 4K video, you only need like 8 megapixels anyways, so you don't have to have a ton of megapixels for 4K.
Right.
The biggest upgrade that we need is really just simply the new color science, the new battery, the whole new body style that the A7 III has. Just put that on an S. Obviously, that's what they're going to do. It'll be, 3-hour battery life. The new button layout is great. You can map the record button to the trigger now, which is great. The My Menu system, the USB-C and USB micro.
This A7 III is much more functional, or at least function friendly, I would say, than previous Sony cameras.
And that's kind of the thing, guys, is like the A7 III, or just the A9, the A7R3 and the A7 III, these cameras have been, like, Sony's been doing full frame mirrorless now for like 4 years, basically. And Nikon and Canon and maybe Panasonic are literally just getting into this. Like, Canon and Nikon, for one, are like the mega companies, and they've just been dragging their feet to get into the full frame mirrorless game. And I really fear Nikon and Canon like not even coming close to Sony in terms of specs. And
they don't have enough practice.
Yeah, like Sony has basically, if you look at the first A7 camera, it was terrible. The battery life was awful. It was so small and like horrible to hold it. The color science was terrible. And now we've gotten to a point now with the A7 III, we've had so many iterations of it where like the battery life is the best in class.
Yeah.
The image is great.
Now, my question then would be, do you think there's a reason why Canon and Nikon haven't put it out yet, other than the fact that they've been just waiting, but more like they're just doing more development? Like you said, the original one, that Sony, it sounds to me almost like Sony just kind of put it out there to be first, but was that necessarily a good idea?
I mean, it was a great idea because Sony literally is the #1 full-frame camera sales in the country now. I don't know if you guys saw that. That's not even saying mirrorless. That's saying overall, like...
Oh, really?
They're selling more full-frame cameras than Canon at this point. That includes a 1DX, that includes a 5D and everything.
Wow.
So Sony now is selling more cameras that are full-frame than Canon and Nikon in the U.S., but yeah, I mean, Sony saw a hole in the market, and basically what happened was Canon and Nikon are just so big, they're so corporate, like they were like, oh, this is just a fad, like people don't want small bodies, pros want pro cameras.
Right.
But like Sony has gotten to a point now where the A7 III is actually kind of chunky, like it's small, but it still feels like a DSLR.
It's dense too.
Yeah, it's got some good weight to it, good heft. And that's one of the things that we talk about all the time on our channel, like the XH1, the G9 from Panasonic. Remember that camera? Like that had a tiny Micro Four Thirds sensor in it, but it was chunky.
Yeah, chunky's good on this channel.
Basically, what's happened is like at the very beginning of mirrorless, everything was tiny, tiny, tiny because it was like, you had big DSLRs and then you had tiny mirrorless cameras like this. Like this is a tiny mirrorless camera. And now the pro mirrorless cameras actually feel good. Like they feel good in the hands.
Right.
But yeah, the A7S III is rumored to have 4K at 60 frames per second. You guys can let me know in the comments if that's true or not. I really hope that it is true. There's also some rumors that it'll be able to do a 10-bit 4K record out. Not internally, but out of the HDMI.
Okay.
Which would be, I mean, I would take that.
Yeah.
Over not having it, obviously.
Yeah. More options are good, in my opinion.
The Panasonic GH5 and the 5S are just so powerful. Doing 10-bit internally, 4K at 60. Like, Sony is getting their feet burned by Panasonic a little bit.
Yeah. Because
Panasonic's just been crushing it with video stuff. But then again, their sensors are literally a quarter of the size, so it's much easier to do all those things on a smaller sensor.
Right.
Anyways, I'm going to go through some of the comments here.
Okay.
Can you talk about the Canon rumors?
Canon rumors. Yeah, there's not a lot in the Canon rumors field right now. Actually, we got most of our rumors a month ago. There hasn't been anything really new, but it's still worth talking about. So on CanonRumors.com, that's where I'm getting this from. So, take everything with a grain of salt. But they're supposedly going to release 2 full-frame mirrorless cameras, both before the middle of 2019. They're suggesting that there's rumors that the first one will be announced. Is that what I'm trying to say? Announced before Photokina, and then there's also rumors that it'll be announced after Photokina. Yeah. So which one's right? I'm not sure. Hopefully before. That'd be nice, and then we could get hands-on at Photokina.
If you guys aren't aware, we are going to Photokina, which is in Germany, which means we did spend $4,000 to get there. So you guys better like it.
Yeah. And wow.
No, seriously though, we're so stoked. I mean, we're going to another country for this, and I think that's why all these rumors are happening. Obviously, because Photokina does not happen every year. It's every other year. Mm-hmm. And so all these companies are just kind of like, they're building it up and they're like, okay, let's just launch it at Photokina.
Right.
And so, I mean, obviously the Nikon will be there because they're releasing it next week.
Sure.
And then the Canon...
I think they'd be smart to announce it before Photokina personally. Yeah, because it's such a big event.
They should.
But we'll see. But the first one that they're going to announce for sure, they're saying is going to be more like their flagship model. And I'm going to read this off. It is supposedly going to have a 30.4 megapixel sensor, and it's going to be kind of like more related to like the 5D Mark IV than like the 1DX Mark II. Kind of interesting. The next one, which we should get before the middle of 2019, is going to have probably a 24 megapixel sensor, so it's going to be a lot less megapixels. It's probably going to be more geared towards consumers, it sounds like. I'm not really sure.
Using the 6D sensor potentially.
Yeah, so interesting, but there's really not much else that I found. You might know more.
Thank you, Pat, for giving us 99 cents for Photokina.
99.
Thank you so much.
What's it called?
Or pounds.
Well, not pounds. Pence? I don't know my European currencies very well. What's the cent form in
He's gonna pounds? Oh, Pat, you live in Germany, so cool.
Oh, wow.
If you're gonna be there, definitely come by and say hi.
Yeah, definitely.
That's awesome. So basically what Connor was saying was
I think that's it too, yeah.
Imagine a 5D Mark IV but mirrorless and a 6D Mark II but mirrorless.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think that's essentially it. If I were to think about how Canon has worked in the past, they like to reuse sensors over and over and over and put them in different bodies. Like the M50 actually has the ADD sensor in it. Mm-hmm. It's just a new processor, a new body, different things like that. So I would imagine that they're going to take the Canon 5D4 sensor, put it in a Pro
should have the new Digic 8 processor.
Yeah, and it'll have the Digic 8 processor, which we know from the M50 is capable of doing 4K with dual pixel. So that's kind of the main thing is are they going to actually do full frame 4K with dual pixel autofocus?
I would say I'm leaning towards yes, just because it's going to be, this first one at least, is going to be more their flagship. I think if it's even possible, which it should be possible.
It is possible.
Then they'd be a fool not to include it.
I know.
Because this is going to be their flagship, in quote,
and
camera.
Nikon has got a full frame 4K mirrorless camera now. Sony's got a full frame.
There's a lot of competition.
4K. Canon just has to step up to the game here.
Their color science isn't going to protect them for long,
Yeah, and I mean I've already switched to the Sony. I just sold this, my beloved 1DC. But the colors are good enough. They're not as great as Canon in my opinion, of course, but I'm finally okay with it. So yes, please Canon, give us full frame 4K, dual pixel, and goodness gracious, wouldn't it be great if it had a flip out screen too?
Yes, I'd be all over that.
All the Casey Neistats in the world, all the YouTubers in the whole wide world will rejoice if Canon makes a pro mirrorless full frame 4K capable camera with dual pixel autofocus with a flip out screen. But here's the thing too, is are they going to stick with the EF mount and use all their amazing EF lenses, or are they going to go the route of Nikon and do a whole new series of lenses for the full frame?
Now that is a fun question.
I think that they will stick with the EF-M style mount. It might even be the same mount as this one. I don't know if it's possible, actually. I don't know. Yeah. This mount might be big enough to put a full-frame sensor in there.
You think so?
And then they might go the Sony route where, like, you can use EFS lenses on full-frame bodies. Like for the Sony, I can actually put an APS-C lens on there, and then it crops into APS-C. So they might do that, where, like, it's the same type of EFM mount, except they'll make a whole new line of full-frame versions.
Now, that would be smart.
And then of course you can buy for $199 a EFM to EF adapter, which then allows you to use all their lenses.
Sure, which I already have.
So that kind of stinks, to like make them use an adapter if you have a ton of lenses already. But I think that's the best way to go, because I would rather have smaller lenses.
Yeah, and also it's like one of those things, like the same thing that Apple does, although I think Apple does it a little early. It's like sometimes it's just time for something new.
Yeah.
So like, for instance, getting rid of the audio jack, that was real controversial.
Yeah.
We're not really an Apple channel, so we won't talk about that, but it's a good comparison, I think.
And as far as the other model goes, I would imagine that it'll be a little dumbed down. It's using the 6D Mark II sensor, which I have been known for, like, bashing.
Yeah.
But I mean, that one might be kind of the A7 III version of the camera, like a $1,900 mirrorless, and then the Pro would be like $2,500.
And I still think it'll be good. I still think people will definitely use it.
It might be the vlogging one to get, because it will be cheaper.
Right, it'll be cheaper and probably just easier to manage, I would think, like file size wise too.
I just don't know if Canon is going to invest the time and money in making like really good lenses for this new system. They should, but like with the mirrorless right now with Canon, they just don't have any good mirrorless lenses.
Not yet, no.
The 22 is good, but it still is kind of like cheapo. Like, it doesn't feel pro.
It's true. I mean, it wasn't that expensive. It really wasn't. So yeah, I think you're right. I think they should, and I think they will. The question is how soon.
Yeah. All right, moving on to... by the way, anybody that's new on the stream, stick around until the end, because we are going to be announcing something really exciting. It has nothing to do with the title or the description. It has to do with us and the channel. And we've been holding this back for like, I guess, a month now.
Yeah, give or take a month.
But yeah, anyways, moving on to drone news.
Yeah.
DJI is having an announcement next Thursday, I think. It's next Thursday, the 25th or something? 23rd?
I don't know. 23rd. I think it's the 23rd.
And we have a picture here that...
Something was
leaked.
I'll make it bigger.
Everybody is aware of the fact that we have new Mavics on the way here. The Mavic 2s. It looks like there's 2 different versions. And there's a Zoom version and a Pro version. We don't really have a ton of certified information yet.
A lot of pictures I've noticed on different rumor sites, but yeah, not a lot of like specs on what they do, other than like, obviously this says, if this is accurate, to Zoom, and this says to Pro.
I'm really curious to see how this goes. The original Mavics were like really, really popular.
Yeah.
So I would imagine that these will be even more popular. Obviously 4K in both of them. We don't really know a lot of the specs yet, because it's not out yet. So,
right. Keep an eye out for the announcement. It'll be exciting to see what they do.
We Talk UAV has some videos on their channel talking about some of the rumors, so check those guys out. We Talk UAV. Maybe we can link them in the comments here. But yeah, if you guys want to see videos about the DJI, let us know. We don't really have a lot of drone stuff on our channel, so because we're mostly camera stuff.
Right. We tried doing something on the Inspire, and it just kind of fizzled. So all right.
But yeah, if you guys want us to do anything about the Mavics, just let us know, and we'll just pre-order them, I guess. All right, We Talk UAV. I'm gonna link that in the description here. Zoom or Prime for video, Rick Post. For video, I don't know. I mean, it just depends on the situation. Right now, we're shooting on a prime lens. We got a 50 millimeter f2 on there.
Why don't we just give a general opinion about this then? Instead of, because it's always situational. It's like, what situation are you in? So for you, Dave, what would you say?
I like having a set of primes.
You like having a set of primes.
But also as a vlogger or whatever, like I obviously have to have a zoom for that.
See, I would say that for me personally, I would say zoom because I'm bigger on variety. Also, I know that what I'm doing is YouTube. So in the end, that extra bit of quality isn't that important to me. But there is no really beating a prime lens when it comes to just perfect quality,
Also,
in my opinion.
I think that if you're starting out fresh and you don't have a ton of experience, I think it's really valuable to learn how to shoot using primes because it gets you thinking about the field of view. Like it makes you think like, where would I want to use a 50 millimeter? Where would I want to use a 24?
That's a good point.
And when you're using a zoom lens, you're just zooming in to get closer and zooming out to like get further away.
Right.
But when you have, say, one lens on, like a 50 millimeter, you have to physically move closer to zoom and physically walk further away to get wider. And if you want to go wider, I would say like, okay, well, how do you want it to feel? Do you want it to feel distorted? So, okay, let's use a 24 millimeter. So there is some wide distortion. Or if you shoot at a 50 and walk far away, that distortion isn't there and there's more compression. So like using different focal lengths as a prime lens, when I was first starting out, I learned so much because we would shoot weddings and we only shot on primes. We never shot on zooms except for the ceremony.
Right.
And that was like on purpose. It was literally like, I want this to feel beautiful and have great compression, so we're going to shoot everything at 50 millimeters.
Right. I'd say that's very valuable. Something I don't think I got to experience, honestly, because I got babied with a zoom lens. I mean, that's just what came with my first camera. That's all I had. So.
But if you do have a zoom lens, then think about it in the way that I just said. So like, if you want it to feel a certain way, zoom to that focal length, and then move your camera around as you're shooting. That's what I do.
Yeah,
so.
Definitely.
All right, so what else? I think that's it. We don't have anything from Fuji. We don't have anything from Panasonic that I'm aware of, unless you guys know of other things. So I'm going to go into the comments section here and look at the questions that we have. And by the way, guys, I know our audio is off. It's always off. We can never figure out how to get it perfect. We're probably going to have to just buy a new box. We're using the Elgato system right now.
It's not really meant for this, kind of. It's meant for gamers, which is cool, but we're not gaming.
Jonathan Allard, do you guys think Canon will cripple their full-frame mirrorless or go all in? I think they'll cripple it.
Really? I think the first one...
I think maybe the Pro.
I think the Pro one, they might just jack up the price, but I think their first one, they'll go all in. That's my opinion. Dave's probably a better opinion.
They kind of have to.
But yeah, exactly. They have to because, like I said, there's more competition now. They're not the big dog anymore.
Yeah, and looking at the specs on this Nikon one, it looks like Nikon's going all in.
Yeah.
Like
I read a comment in here a little bit ago. They said Nikon doesn't have a cinema series to protect.
That's true.
So yeah, they might actually go all in. That was a good. I don't remember who said that. I'm sorry. I should.
That's actually a really good point. I think I saw that too. I don't know who said it.
I think it was near the bottom.
But yeah, that's a great point to think about. Is like Sony has a full line.
Jonathan
Allard. Yeah, thanks, Jonathan. So Sony has a whole line of cinema cameras. They got like all the way up to the Venice series, which are actually really good cinema cameras that like actual movies are shot on.
Yeah.
I think the whole new series of Avatar movies are being shot on the new Venice cameras.
I think I read that too, yeah.
And then obviously you've got the FS7, the FS5, the F55, which are all broadcast, pro cameras that are really great. And then you've got the A7 series of cameras. And I heard I think it was at NAB, somebody said that like the A7S and the A7 series has cut into their video sales by like 10% or something like ginormous.
Right.
So like people who would have spent money on buying a video camera instead bought an A7 camera. And I think that I don't know if that's bad for them, but definitely if you're only...
Well, it's at least telling for them. That kind of tells them that people really want this style of camera.
They want small, lightweight, inconspicuous cameras. But yeah, Canon obviously has an amazing cinema lineup with the C100, 200, 300, 500, 700, 1DC here, which is going away.
It's okay, Dave.
So yeah, like Canon has always made decisions based off of protecting themselves.
Right.
That is just not a good way to run a business. Steve Jobs was famous for saying, if you don't cannibalize yourself, someone else will. So,
and it looks like that might be the case coming up.
But I do think that Canon has understood that, and I will recount what I said earlier, and I do think that maybe the Pro model, like they're just going to do everything they can.
Obviously, the next iteration, to protect the previous iteration, in my opinion, will be crippled some way, shape, or form. Like if this one gave us 4K 60 with dual pixel autofocus, I'm just projecting. The next one probably will give us only 24 with maybe dual pixel.
Are you talking about the lesser one?
Yeah,
the cheaper one.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that one will be like they're gonna hold back on stuff to make it cheap.
Right.
But it's exciting because this series of cameras, the M line, the M50, the M6, the M5, all those, they're good cameras, but they're consumer cameras. They're prosumer cameras, and it's kind of like Canon was like, oh, you guys want mirrorless cameras? Okay, here you go.
Yeah, this is like almost like a throwaway or an experiment. It's good though. I enjoy it. It's good for really what I do. A lot of people, even I've noticed in the comments, they're all talking about the M50. It's a good, solid little camera, but it's not really professional.
Yeah, I'm looking at the comments.
It's okay.
Anything new about the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera? Rick Post. No, I don't know anything else about it. I have been looking at the forums on EOS HD, and there's a guy there who has one, and he talks about it, but he can't share anything. So we still haven't seen any footage. We don't have an official announced date. At NAB, they said September, but it's Blackmagic, so I think December.
Well, and the thing is like, it's suspicious, because if they're still saying September, which I haven't heard an updated date, so I guess they're still saying September, and they haven't released anything on it. I don't know. I don't see that happening.
They're known. Blackmagic is known for just being late on everything. Yeah. So
it's just weird that they're being quiet about it. You think they would update the date or something? I don't know. That's just me.
The Random Man, no Canon DSLR rumors. I don't know. We were just talking mostly about mirrorless cameras. But the 90D is supposed to be coming out. That would be an update to the 80D. That's the only rumor that I've heard of is like a 90D upgrade, which that one would, I hope, have 4K as well. That would be great too if you want to stick with DSLRs.
Yeah, I think that 4K is the new standard. I think it'd be really odd to see the 90D come out without 4K.
So we've got, yeah, I'm not seeing anything on Canon rumors about DSLRs. Sorry, guys. Let's see, what else we got? Any more questions? Put at Kinotika for your questions. Would you buy, okay, Kyle Reinhardt, would you buy the M50 today, or would you wait to see what Canon comes out with mirrorless full frame? I would definitely wait if I were you, especially with there being two models rumored, a cheaper one and a more expensive one. The cheaper one may be still twice as much as an M50.
I would almost guess that it would be.
Yeah.
Personally. So, I don't know. It's interesting. The one that's going to be most comparable with the M50 isn't supposed to come out till middle of 2019.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, I mean, you know, if you cannot wait for a camera, I guess you could go ahead and buy it. But if I was, I don't know, I think I'd still buy it, actually, myself personally.
Yeah.
Just because I really wanted a camera. It was not too expensive, so it wasn't too much of an investment for me. And I've gotten some. I've gotten a lot of use out of it, and I'll definitely get my money back for it once the new one rolls around. So.
And this is probably still smaller than what it's going to be too.
Yeah. So I don't know.
It's small.
I think it is kind of up to you.
It's a great family camera. It's great to just run around this thing. It's so small.
Yeah, I mean that's the camera I use for shout out to KBTS over at my channel.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I personally would have gone ahead and bought it, just in mind that I'm not about to drop $3,000 plus on a new camera in the next few months.
Rick Post asks, I want to buy a 4K camera around $1,000. Suggestions? I would say go with the Sony A6300. You can get it with a kit lens for around $1,000. It's giving you a 5K down res to 4K image, so it's really sharp, really clean. You're not going to have better 4K. It's got amazing autofocus. That's kind of the best 4K camera to get for under $1,000. Although I know Alberto will disagree with me and say that the G7 is the best one. And that one is good. I mean, it's like $300, $400. Like, you can get them used for next to nothing. So,
yeah.
If you're willing to go down to Micro Four Thirds and lose that great autofocus, then the G7 is actually a good option. The update to that, the G85 from Panasonic is also great. It's got IBIS built in. And that one is it's a little more than $1,000, but
roughly $1,000. I think he was saying give or take.
Yeah. So, any other questions? Kinotika, this is from Michael Rapino. What mirrorless would you say can currently rival Canon's autofocus? The only competitor, in my opinion, is Sony.
Yeah.
Fuji is really good for photos, but their video autofocus isn't as good as Sony and Canon. So at the moment, Sony is like almost there as far as...
They're so close. I mean, it's
so accurate.
Yeah.
But the thing that I miss on my Sony camera that was great with dual pixel is the ability to do both face tracking and like touch tracking.
Yeah, that is kind of a bummer.
So like on the Canons, you can have face tracking turned on, it'll track people's faces, but say you just want to get a quick shot of somebody walking from behind, you don't see their face, you can just tap the person's back or something like that, and the camera will just track it, which is just so great. And there isn't a mode like that on the Sony. There is a touch focus mode, but it's not the same. There's no tracking involved. You could turn off face tracking, and then it'll just kind of focus on intelligently whatever it thinks.
It's pretty accurate, too.
It's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
My friend Jeffrey shoots everything like that with his A6300 on his gimbal. So, Alberto, G7 is greater than anything. Everybody who knows Alberto knows that he's like...
Looks like even VFX was waiting for that. So, Alberto, you're like famous in the chat, dude.
Thanks, Cameron, for correcting me. G85 on that. For that money, I'd go with a G85. A lot of people are saying the G85 for $1,000 is the best. Olympus VFX Todd, I'm looking at Olympus lenses for my GH5 as well, since they're Micro Four Thirds lenses too. The Olympus lenses, in my opinion, are better than the Panasonic lenses because the manual focusing mode is so much better. So I really like Olympus lenses. All right, we're coming up to the end of the stream here.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready to hear the news?
It's exciting.
All right, so we've been holding this back from you guys for a month and a half, and I'll just set it up like this.
Heck, you've been keeping it a secret from me for what?
No. 2 months?
No.
Yeah. I told you about a week after I knew, but...
Yeah.
So about 2 months ago, we went to VidCon in Anaheim, California, and I was actually born in California, but I was only 2 years old when we moved here to Tennessee. A lot of my family still lives there, so I've always been going to California throughout the years.
You might be able to guess where this is going.
When I was a filmmaker, I would go out there and work a lot. I've just always wanted to live there, and it just never made any sense financially. You know, I met my wife here, and I'm so grateful for that. I never would have met her if I moved there. And anyways, we were just like my wife and I were thinking about moving there. After VidCon in particular, I met a lot of YouTubers there that were just so great. Jason Vong, that one camera guy.
Yep.
You know, a lot of other people that you've seen. Greg, you know, Caleb, Wojcik, a lot of these people. And they're all like, yeah, move here. We live here. It's great. And
Yeah.
YouTube's headquarters is there. So my wife and I were really thinking about it a lot. And out of the blue, I got a job offer. And I'm not going to release what that is yet because I don't have clearance from this particular company. But I will say it is a camera company that has offered me another job in addition to Kinotika.
Yeah, so Kinotika is not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere. If anything,
it's like, well, it is going somewhere.
It's going somewhere. We found a home. We found a place. Connor is coming with us.
Yeah, crazy stuff. He called me, and I made a decision, in like 24 hours? I had to decide.
Yeah. Well,
that's not 100% true.
The pressure was on him by himself because he was going to get an apartment here and sign a lease. And I told him the night before, hey, I'm moving to California. Sorry, I'm going to have to find someone else. I did not expect Connor to care or want to be a part of it. And then, like, literally the next day, he was like, well, what if I moved with you? And I was like, are you serious? So, it's happening. We're working out a lot of the details. We had some hiccups with the apartment situation.
Yeah, we're running into some hardships with that, but yeah, we'll figure it out. It's can we say the estimated date of arrival?
Like mid-October is when we're thinking of moving out there. We found a place in Laguna Niguel, which is right next to Laguna Beach. If you're not familiar with California, and if you're not familiar with Laguna Beach in particular, I would urge you to go on Google and search Laguna Beach and then look at the pictures.
It's pretty freaking beautiful.
It is about an hour and a half south of like Hollywood and LA. So it's out of the kind of Los Angeles like hustle and bustle,
which is preferred for me because I've been there once now and I don't it was okay.
It's kind of dirty, like it's not great, but it's great that it's there. The job that I'll have is only 30 minutes away from where we'll be living.
Yeah.
But the best thing about the fact that we're moving to Laguna is this channel. So this channel is like overnight going to become the most beautiful camera channel on YouTube. Like we will be able to shoot in like crystal clear water. There's going to be like cliffs and rocks that overlook the ocean.
Also, we can extend farther because like where we live in Tennessee, you know, if we drive 5 hours in any direction, the terrain is mostly the same. The coolest place we could go is the Smokies, which don't get me wrong, I love the Smokies.
Yeah.
But we drive 5 hours in any direction in California. We can hit cool deserts. We can drive a little bit farther and hit up the redwoods. Yosemite's not too much farther than that. Like, there's lots of different varieties of terrain that we can kind of toy with. So, our footage, we no longer have to go to the lake.
Yeah, we go to the lake down the street from our house here, and don't get me wrong, it's beautiful. I mean,
Tennessee's great.
It's green. We're not going to have that greenness there, but we will have the ocean.
Right.
And it's not only just like standard like Santa Monica ocean, like Laguna area is just gorgeous. There's coral reefs there, scuba diving. So like, for example,
wait, is there really scuba diving?
Yes.
Oh, dude, I actually am like almost certified, so I'm gonna finish that.
There's like sea lions there and everything, coral reefs. With like imagine the next
great white sharks, earthquakes, fire. It's great.
Liberals like it's gonna be great.
No.
So where was I?
I don't know.
So imagine like a GoPro video, like the new GoPro comes out, we go snorkeling and like. You know, I'm just super excited.
I'm pretty pumped too, actually.
YouTube's headquarters is like an hour away, so we can actually, they have a studio there, and we can actually film in the YouTube space, which is great. We can collab with other YouTubers and pay twice as much taxes. Yeah. It's going to be awesome living in California. So.
No, there are positives and negatives to anywhere you live. Now, for this channel, I think there's exceedingly more positives. Than negative. So we're pretty pumped. We're pretty excited. A little nervous, but mostly excited.
The only thing that I am a little sad about is like this awesome studio that we have here. It's so big. It's so great.
It's so cheap.
It's $300 a month for this space. Like you guys, if you know how much a normal office costs, like even in Nashville, this is like insane. So we are going to lose this, but we are going to be converting Connor's living room into our set.
It's well, you know, I'm pretty excited about that. It's gonna be kind of fun. I wake up, I walk into my living room, I'm at work. I mean,
exactly.
When I break for lunch, I just walk into my kitchen, make some lunch.
Furworks, $6.
Furworks.
Adding a buck to the normal coffee donation because I bet coffee is more expensive in California. You were so right. Dude, you're so right.
Furworks, man. Thank you.
Rob says that he lives in California. He lives about 2 hours north of Yosemite.
Oh, dude, lucky.
Michael Rapina says $300.
Yeah, it is nutty here.
Caleb, you're here. Caleb Wojcik. We just gave you a shout out. What's up, dude? Yeah, we're excited that you're going to be there, Caleb. We'll be doing a lot of collabs with Caleb, If Jason Vong will answer his phone, then maybe we could do stuff with him.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyways.
There's plenty of potential there. We're excited.
Anyways, that does it for the news. If you guys have any last-minute comments or questions, make sure to hit us up here. I think overall, in terms of camera rumors, I am actually a little bit more, I guess, curious about Nikon than
Curious
anybody.
is a good word.
I wouldn't say excited because, like, I am biased. I want a good Canon camera.
Mm-hmm.
I wish, like, that's the one I want. I want the most amazing flip-out screen, autofocus, 4K, full frame, mirrorless camera with good battery life, great 4K, log, 10-bit, 4K at 60.
He wants the perfect camera.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
So Canon, give it to me. Focus peaking. That'd be great if it had it.
Well, I mean, the M50 has it. So if the new one doesn't have it, again, the M50 is kind of a cool little window into what's to come.
It is.
I mean, the M50 is far from perfect, but it has some nifty little things about it. So.
And and hey Caleb, what's up? He just said what's up again. But here's the thing with Canon though, like I forgot to mention this. It's probably not going to have IBIS. It's probably not going to have any form of internal body image stabilization like the Sony, the Fuji, the Panasonic.
Yeah.
I don't know that for sure, but based off of what Canon has made in the past, they haven't designed anything with that. So unless that's totally new. Same for Nikon. Like, I don't know if they're going to have IBIS at all.
We'll see. It's exciting.
Anything else that you want to say? Last words?
No. Yeah. If you have any more questions, tweet Dave. Dave is pretty.
I'm on Twitter a lot.
Yeah, he's on Twitter more than he should be. I don't know.
So at Dave Altizer on Twitter, and then Connor is
don't tweet me.
Connor_McCaskill on
Instagram.
Did I spell that right?
No, you didn't. MCCASKILL. There you are.
Yeah. Insta. There you go.
Boom.
So you can follow us, ask us questions, DM us, whatever. I am not on Instagram. He is.
And
he
I'm
is not on Twitter, and I am. So
yeah, we like to keep things complicated.
yeah, there you go. So hit me up on Twitter if you have any specific questions. We are going to Photokina.
Yeah.
So we will be capturing anything about the Nikon camera, the Sony camera, and the Canon camera.
Also, on that note, with all these crazy things coming up with Photokina and moving and all this stuff, definitely keep an eye on KBTS. I will be attempting in all the chaos to keep that going. KBTS, if you don't know, is our Kinotika behind-the-scenes series. I started it up on my own personal channel as kind of just like, another way for you guys to see kind of what's going on. Definitely give me comments on what you guys want to see. I'm just kind of filming whatever at this point until I get a better direction. I've only done 3 episodes. So
I'm going to post his most recent video in the comments. That is KBTS episode 3.
Yeah, so if you guys give it a look at, give me a comment, let me know what's up, and I would extremely appreciate it.
And just stay notified, and we got stuff coming out over the next couple of weeks we're really excited about sharing. But yeah, we're moving to California. We're excited to be neighbors with Caleb Wojcik. We'll be seeing him a lot. He's only about 30 minutes away from where we're going to be living, so that'll be great. But yeah, if any of you guys live in California, hit us up. Do a collab sometime, hang out, shoot some stuff, shoot some breeze. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Cameras and Coffee, episode 6. We'll catch you guys next week. See ya.
Later, guys.